right, folks, God bless you guys. Welcome to This Is It, 4, 3, 2, 1, Before the Fire. Let's go. Let's go. I want to go. I want to leave. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I'm doing a short little video this morning. I'm going to add to it this afternoon. I want to make sure, because I see sometimes comments, and sorry, my sunglasses are oddly stuck to my head. And I can't get them off. There we go. I see a lot of comments sometimes on one particular thing where people are like, no, that's not right. So let me just fix something real quick. So if you go to the last video that I did, I showed you guys that all the horses of the apocalypse, you have a white horse, you have a red horse, you have a black horse, and you have a green horse. And a lot of people, some people were very nice about it. Some people were just total turds. I'm just like, okay. I'm serious. It's the way people deliver things shows me a lot about their heart, you know. But I am going to make a correction on something from another video. So, only one person mentioned the correction I'm actually going to talk about on the other video. But I want to make sure everybody understands this. So I want everyone, please, to follow me. Everybody read that word right there. Verdant. Right there, V-E-R-D-A-N-T, verdant green. There's a lot of different shades of it. So all you have to do is look at verdant green right there. Okay, verdant. Is that, it's a yes or no answer. Is that green? So now, take a look at this green. Take a look at all these greens right here that include verdant right here. I'll just go right here. So blanket, shoes. Now let's go to the four horsemen. Are these flags, or any of these flags? Well, here's what I can do. Watch. I can go like this, and I can drag one into, let's see if I can grab one and drag it. Okay, so I'll grab this. Ready? I'll grab this shoe and I'll shove it right into here. So you see that green shoe? Does that look like the same basic green as all these flags? It's a yes or no answer. So the answer is yes, it is. It's called verdant. So when I was talking about all the flags of the Middle East, of the Islamic countries, also a lot of them with the crescent moon birthing a five-pointed star, which is exactly the vocabulary in Isaiah 14. I beheld Lucifer. Lucifer said, I will arise above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? The vocabulary there matches a crescent moon birthing a star. Okay, if I put the links in there in the folders for you, so you can go click on the link and look at it. But anyway, I want to speak to the people that were nice about leaving a comment saying, no, Johnny, you've been right about pretty much everything I saw except the green horse thing. You're wrong about that. Okay, I appreciate the way y'all did it. The people that were arrogant, blocked. Go away. I don't mind being corrected at all. I don't. But when I see someone hostily trying to correct me, the Vatican's a snake. You're welcome. So here you go. Ready? See that? That color's called verdant. It's chloros. Ready? And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death. Okay, see the word pale? Pale. Greenish. That is verdant. Greenish. That is V-E-R-D-A-N-T. Verdant. 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 A green. It's green. The word pale is chloros. Okay, so FYI, for the record, pale is chloros, like chlorine. Green is verdant, the root of the word. Okay, by the way, it says right here, green and pale. See green and pale put together right here, green and pale? The root of the word is green. Pale is green. So I don't mind people correcting me. As a matter of fact, I like it because sometimes I learn some stuff that I need to know. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself because I get really excited and I'm trying to, and I spit something out wrong, which I did the other day, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. But anyway, it's important that everybody knows that pale is green, chloros. I mean, even my hat is a form of green. So death, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Hobbit movie where the king, I think Return of the King, he goes and makes the army of the dead, you know, basically go fight for him. And they're all kind of green and they move like kind of like ghosts, kind of like apparitions. They're chloros, green. Pale is chloros, green. Okay, so now that we got that resolved, now guaranteed all the flags over there are, well, you know what, let's do this. We'll take the flags. You know what, let me see. Let me go back. Watch this. I'll go like this. I'll go to this page. I'll stretch out these flags a little bit. I'll grab them and I'll go in here. And then there you go. See the green? Green, 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 green. So they're all green. See? Okay, now. And then they lit up the Empire State Building the same as the Mecca Tower on, I think it was Ramadan. I forgot what holiday it was, but they lit up the Empire State Building the same as the clock in Mecca. And just to show that there's been this takeover from the inside of our country. People haven't seen it coming. It's on the Washington Monument, by the way. The Swords of Islam are on the Washington Monument. Do you believe me? Would you like to see them? Okay, ready? And you know, the Washington Monument, where you could watch the Twin Towers burning down under the arch because the Rockefellers served eminent domain on all the properties where they built the Twin Towers. And when they bombed the Twin Towers, you could watch them burn right under the arch, which is identical to the image on the $20 bill. Some people are probably saying, what are you talking about, Kleck? Let me just show you. Okay, let me pull up a folder. Here's the Arch of Washington. You'll see the sword here and the sword here and the sword here and the sword here. What you probably weren't able to see or perceive, which the Lord showed me a long time ago, is those swords and those circles make the heads, the same heads that are on the pillars that Madonna walked up. And there were those alien serpent being heads. I'll call them serpent beings. I don't like the word alien because we're the aliens here. So anyway, on this right here, you see the sword right here and the sword right here. Well, they put the handles right here for a reason, because it makes the head of the same serpent being on both sides. And then the Twin Tower bombings, you could watch burn right under those arches, because everything's cryptic. The whole world is a big cryptic show. Okay, so what most people probably don't know is right there on that same arch, it says Exitus Octa Probat. What that means, and that's from the hidden hand. The guy's got the hidden hand, which represents that hidden thing moving through society that's doing all this stuff. Exitus Octa Probat means the outcome justifies the deed. What's the deed? Murdering all the sheep within the system. The Twin Towers get destroyed. Murdering, that represents killing the sheep off. No longer a twin serpent sheep system. Burn them down. And we're going to put up the One World Freedom Tower, the serpent system. The Satan's system. Exitus Octa Probat. The outcome justifies the deed. So that's on the Washington Arch. Now, most people don't know this either. The Washington Arch was modeled after the Arch of Titus. Now, there's the Washington Arch. Now, let me show you right here. You'll see the swords right here. I'm going to get to a better image of it. Let me get to a better image of it. Okay, so I will give you right here. There's the close-up image. Now, by the way, see the X right here in the middle of the face? The X. This is a face, by the way. You see the X, the two swords. Now, watch this. So this is the Washington Arch right here. There's the swords there. There's the swords there. 2X, 2x, female energy, again, it's always the same thing. And let me just show you, here we go. There's the Swords of Islam. So now let me just go here. Let me go here. Let me drag this into here. There you go. You see what's going on here? The takeover was from the inside, you guys. So there it is. Swords of Islam right there in the United States on the Washington Arch. Now, most people, like I said, I don't share everything I've got. There's a whole litany of stuff in the folders that hasn't made it to videos. And the stuff that the Lord's had me do has been kept in these folders. And there's a lot more that y'all haven't seen. So there you go. Just have a look. There you go. And there you go. So now it's in either yes or no. Well, 2x is the enemy. Remember 2x. That's a twin female energy from the pit. And it's pretty easy for me to show it to you now because it's the most obvious thing in the world. And so here's one of the movies they did where they show the water just coming through the Washington Arch now. Well, remember, you were able to see the bombing of the Twin Towers right under those arches because the Rockefellers, who are, I believe it was John that was in the government at the time when they served eminent domain on all these properties where they built the Twin Towers. Okay, that made the Twin Towers in a perfect alignment with the Arch of Washington, which is a replica of the Arch of Titus. The Arch of Titus was built to commemorate Titus's victory over the Jews in destroying the second temple, the one Jesus was talking about. So Titus marched in, destroyed the temple, and they built the Arch of Titus as a commemorative arch to the destruction of the second temple. Now think about this. To build a replica arch of the Arch of Titus and have the Twin Towers, which represents our body, the Twin Towers, because our host body is a twin system. So to have the Twin Towers burn while you're looking under the Arch of Washington, which is a replica of the Arch of Titus, I mean, you can do the mental math, right? They're mocking the burning of our temple, the host body. See, I was called to bear witness to the destruction of the temple, which is our host body. The temple is being destroyed right now. The host body system is turned into something else. They gave everybody this thing in their arm a while back, and they're working on a whole new thing. That's why there's a One World Freedom Tower. It's the most obvious thing in the world now. I mean, it's stupid obvious. Anyway, so here is the Arch of Washington that shows all this water coming through it. Well, if you could have seen the Twin Towers under it, which you could, and I'll show you a picture of it. Here you go. See, there's the Twin Towers right there. So while they were burning, you could sit here and watch them burn right under the arch. Now, here's the two Twin Towers coming together into one DNA. See it? One DNA, two DNAs becoming one DNA. And let's put, instead of the Twin Towers there, let's put the One World Freedom Tower. So do as thou wilt. Crowley, true Satanism. So then let's go back to this now. So here's this image of the Washington Arch, which is a commemorative arch of the Arch of Titus. And here you go. Here's the $100 bill right under it. Tell me, do you think that's going to happen? Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and a devouring wind. Bam! There it is. Okay, so anyway, now, it's just going to happen. I mean, it's on your money, guys. I told you I was at the FBI in 2014, showed them all of it. One agent freaked out. One agent looked like he wanted to kill me. So, now, let's get back to the snarky people that were, oh, Kleck, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no green horse, you liar. Okay, it is green. Pale is green. Okay, now we've settled that. But now what we have to settle, which I did get wrong, and I got really excited, was let's talk about David committing adultery on 8 wives instead of 300. That was Saul. Saul had, I think, 300 wives and 700 concubines. You know what? Let's look it up. Let's just look it up together. Ready? Here we go. Yep. Okay, so I stand corrected again. So it was 700 wives, yeah, but it was Saul, not David, because I know I blurted out David the other day when I was telling you that the Lord, he forgives your sins, guys. He forgave David, and David had 8 wives. So when David was cheating with Bathsheba, he was committing adultery, I guess, times 8. And he lied to every inhabitant of Israel by not being honest about what he did. He killed Uriah. He sent a note. Even though Uriah he sent a note to the front lines where Uriah was fighting Bathsheba's husband. When David found out that Bathsheba was pregnant, he brought Uriah from the front lines back to Jerusalem and said, "Oh, go hang out with your wife. You need a break." And Uriah slept on the steps. He wouldn't of the temple. I think he stepped on the steps of the temple, and he wouldn't even go to his own house and stay with his wife, because David was hoping, oh, he'll go home and then they'll have sex and then I'm off the hook. That's what David was thinking. And so, but Uriah was faithful and he slept on the steps of the palace. And so, on the steps of the palace. And then he goes back to the front lines, and David's like, his whole plan was foiled. So David's lying to everybody. He's scheming now. This is the guy that killed Goliath, a man after God's own heart. Yes, he did all these things. And then when Uriah gets back to the front, he sends a note with them. Can you imagine? He sends a note and has him delivered to his commanding officer. And that note says, hey, let Uriah get out front during the battle and then withdraw from him. So he has Uriah killed in battle. I mean, that sucks, dude. So anyway, then Nathan the prophet shows up and tells, hey, David, the story about, hey, this guy in your kingdom did this. And he said, you're the guy, David. And David's like, okay, blessed be the name of the Lord. And then David admits what he did. He raised his hand and said, I did it. And then, Nathan told him, the child is going to die. The sword will not depart from your house. And so God forgives you, but now you're going to have a really different time of it all because of what you did. Because the consequence engine doesn't stop turning. If you sin, if you get somebody pregnant or something, the consequence engine doesn't quit turning. But God forgives your sins. Do you understand? He forgives you. But you may have to deal with a whole litany of stuff that you weren't planning on dealing with. That's part of what sinning does. Okay, anyway. All right, so now I've straightened that out. Okay, so let's go over what Johnny's video was about. Verdant is green. A pale horse is a green horse. Don't be mean when you leave a comment. Just say, hey, Johnny, I think you missed something. But when people are arrogant and rude, it just shows their heart. Anyway, so for those of y'all that weren't arrogant and rude, I wrote you a little comment saying verdant, pale equals chloros. Chloros equals green, verdant. So behold a pale horse is behold a green chloros horse. Okay. And the reason that is because it's death. Okay. So death is associated with green. Isn't it interesting, the Green New Deal? You wonder what that's all about, really? It's death taking over the host body system, by the way. It's just everything's cryptic. So anyway, so now I straightened out the 700 wives and 300 concubines. Solomon. Now let's look at David real quick. So Solomon. Okay, so Solomon had, 700 wives. This is like, Okay, so Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And let's talk about David now. So he had 8 wives, and there their names are. And Bathsheba was the end of the road there. Anyway, so you can go read about that yourself. Wikipedia, if you can't get it all out of the Bible or understand it, sometimes it's kind of tricky. Anyway, but there you go. So Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. David had 8 wives, committed adultery, committed murder, lied to everybody, admitted what he did, and then, he had to kind of go on the run. And it wasn't an easy go of it for the end of the kingdom for him. But God didn't withdraw his love from David, and he still protected David. So, okay. All right. Let's go. Guys, things are heating up. This is only going to keep going one direction. It may look like it cools off for a minute. It may even come to a point where some guy steps up and says, hey, I can fix all this. Let's make peace. Watch out for the moment you hear that. If you hear that, then you know sudden destruction is coming immediately. Anyway, because that's what the Bible says. So anyway, we're at the point to where the Middle East is about to catch on fire. The bombings were printed on your money. Let me prove it to you. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke and devouring wind. Now, were the Twin Tower bombings printed on your money? Was a Twin Tower bombing printed on your money? It's a yes or no answer. Let's go look. So let's just nail some facts down. Yes or no, was the Twin Tower bombing printed on your money? Well, there it is right there. So the answer is yes. Does it look like it's under an arch? Yeah. Where have I seen that before? Let's see, where have I seen that before? Let me see. Where have I seen that before? Where in the world? Oh, that's right. That's where I've seen it. Okay, so there you go. So there's the Twin Towers burning, representing the two-party system, the Cain and Abel, the serpent sheep race. That's the serpent sheep race, the Twin Towers right there. But you got the swords of Islam right here, 2X, 2X, XX, 2X. And what does it stand for? Well, let me show you. There you go. Okay, there you go. Why are they making an X with a red X with the sword? And is that the same thing? Oh, geez. Where'd my picture go? Hang on one second. Yep. So here you go. Bam. There you go. There you go. All right. Now, like I said, if y'all haven't explored all these folders and you haven't seen the plethora of supernatural information that's in these things, okay, I want you to look. This is the Empire State Building right here. Here now at night. Can you see the head? There's the eye. There's the eye. There's the mouth. So here's the head of an alien at night. Well, a serpent being. Eye, mouth. That's all the head. Same as the pillars. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have Dave the Wave make an image out of that. Watch this. I'll have Dave the Wave. I'll make an image for you guys, and we'll do this. All right, so watch this. Let me see if I can just put it right here for you guys. Okay, hang on. Watch. I'll draw this in for you. And just, okay, this is my gift. This is the reason you know the Vatican's a snake. This is the reason you know that there's bombings printed on the U.S. currency. This is the reason you know that the Vatican altar is a large dead sheep. I mean, it's because the eyes that the Lord gave me, the ability to see through the veil. Watch. That right there, that's supposed to light up at night because nighttime belongs to them. The darkness belongs to them. So at night, they do what's called the shadow arts. They'll put their little imagery hidden in plain sight, but then they'll light it up, and then you'll be able to see clearly what it is. Just like the altar being a dead sheep. There's a lot of other altars in the world I just haven't shown you guys yet. There's a ton of it. It's nonstop. Here you go. You see right here, this is an eye, that's an eye, that's the mouth, this is the head. So this is the whole head, eye, mouth. This is the head, eye, mouth. So those are two serpent beings. And there is, ready? What color is that lit up? Is that lit up the same as this flag next to it? It's a yes or no. Empire State Building lit up in celebration of Islam because taking over the entire empire is their goal. Okay, now, ready? Ready? Watch. Here are the Twin Towers at night. Now, by the way, if you've ever seen markers, DNA markers, just go look them up. Say, like maybe electron microscope DNA markers and things like that. You'll see the panels, or DNA panels, lit up DNA panels. You see these Twin Towers? Those look identical to DNA panels. I mean, that looks just like a DNA panel. Now, these are the pillars that Madonna walked up in between. Now, I want you to look at the eye, the mouth, eye, the mouth. Eye, mouth. Ready? I'm going to drag this into here. Okay, ready? Here you go. Bam, there it is. That's what those are. So you see the serpent bean? Bam. That's it right there. So one there and one there. So that's what it is. And I sent it to Dave to make a a blended image to put in the folder for you. But that's why there's 2x, because 2x represents a serpent being that's taking over the whole planet. That's why there's a one world freedom tower instead of twin towers. Twin towers stood for the serpent and the sheep. Boom, burned up. Systems burned up. Done with it. Time to start the new one, the all serpent race. That's what the world's going to right now. You understand? And the slave race, you know, just the origins of Islam, and you go back to Hagar and the child of the slave woman. The slave race is the serpent race. They don't think so, though. They don't know it. Anyway, there's a lot more going on, guys. Anyway, love you guys. All right, now back again. What does pale mean? Green. How many wives does David have? 700. No. Saul has 700. David has 8. All right. I love you guys in Christ. I'll be back.